My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Noonas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Natalia.
I'm Sky.
And today, since it's February, we're going to talk about love. More specifically, romantic comedies, a ever-popular genre, easy to find in the K-drama world. What does everyone sort of look for in a rom-com? What do you want when you watch something?
In a rom-com, I want it light. I want fluffy. I want it to be just easy. I don't want to say think too much because I don't mind a little bit, but I don't need there doesn't need to be a horrible serial killer plot or
story.
Like, I don't need that. It can just be cute. Just like have the meet cute and jump from there. Like I don't need for there to be a horrible stepmother or mother-in-law or whatever who's going to rip them apart in the third act.
Episodes.
Oh, like I just
you don't like seeing people slap by the kimchi, like throw water in their face, none of that.
I just want it nice and sweet and simple. I don't need any crazy macjang. I don't need a big like amnesia story or some chick faking a pregnancy or any crazy.
I do like though when rom-coms will like sort of play jokes with these cliches, like where like a character will pretend to have amnesia, then be like, just kidding, like just fucking with you. I kind of like that. Like that. I always find that
self-aware.
Yeah.
The new Meteor Garden, like when you know the story, right? You're like, it happens, and you're like, oh, come on, no. Please just no, and then it's totally fake. He's like, I gotcha, and you're like,
just one of my classic
because you know that's part of the story, right? Yeah. Like there's the amnesia plot. They could have done
but
that,
it's so stupid.
No, they
just decided let's just make it a joke instead.
Yes, and it's
amnesia plots are my least favorite, right up there with All a Dream. No,
I do think
also I'm not a big fan of separated for a year and apparently
I hate that.
An email doesn't work.
I don't think it works in rom-coms.
Like that's fine 20 years ago, but like in this day and age, the idea that you're separated for that long and you just could not text each other.
Send them a Facebook message, like for God's sake, it's not that hard.
I do think that a lot of K-dramas or Asian dramas in general, they can get labeled as rom-coms, but ultimately they really shouldn't be labeled like that.
Yeah.
I think there are fewer rom-coms out there than are labeled rom-coms.
I agree.
I have a funny little tale from my early days of watching dramas. I really wanted to just watch like a light and fluffy rom-com or comedy. So I was on Drama Fever, rest in peace, and I had searched for comedy. And the one that was recommended to me, I don't know if any of you have seen this, is Heard Through the Grapevine. That is not a comedy. It's like, the plot of it is basically like a girl and a guy from a rich family and a girl from a poor family meet at like this academic camp as teenagers and have sex, and she gets pregnant, but he doesn't find out till she's due. And then when he finds out, he brings her home, and then his family's horrible to her for the rest. And she like has a baby. It's awful. And I was like, so when does the funny happen?
There should have been a ha.
It was more like a ha. Like,
it's like there's only one joke in the entire drama, and they're like, oh, comedy.
It did, however, have Lee Jun in it, and I love him so much.
Yeah.
But it was not a romantic comedy.
No. It was I think that at best dark comedy would have been more astute. But when you're searching for comedy, you're not looking for that.
No.
You want, pratfalls and accidental kisses, not accidental teen pregnancy. Yeesh.
Well, and I do think some rom-coms can have like a serial killer in it, but at least flag it like that. Like put on. You fine. say it's rom-com for like half the time, but then the other half own up to the fact
Like, tag it.
it's gonna have other stuff in it.
Thriller, for God's sake.
Yes.
And
It's
then
kind of
we'll be
like in
oh,
K-pop when you
okay.
have like the duality, like Red Velvet or Blackpink. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, well this time it's the red side and this time it's the velvet side.
Well, this episode's the rom-com, and that episode's the thriller.
Yeah, like have in the beginning make it a certain color or whatever, so we
Yeah.
know
You know what's coming.
and so I can just skip the one that I don't want to.
Or maybe like don't have shows with such abrupt, like jarring tonal shifts that it just makes it confusing for everyone watching.
Yeah.
I always found this sort of about just sort of K-dramas in general, that a lot of them try to be so many different things and they don't need to be. Like,
Can just be a rom-com. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
exactly. Like, people will still watch it.
It's like
And
they
I
try
think-
to like pack everything into one show. It's just like, okay, put this and this and this and this because people will stop watching, and then no one's
You're
saying
like, no,
they're gonna
they-
stop watching.
People will still keep watching.
People are
Like,
here.
don't worry.
I think the best recent example of that is Strong Woman Dubong Soon.
Yeah, Do Monsoon, yeah.
Because
Sure.
I know for me, I was expecting just full on rom-com. I was a newer drama watcher
Yeah,
when we watched
yeah.
it. I
The
think I
trailers were very misleading for that one.
I didn't.
They always are.
I think it had just finished a few months before I binged it on
Mm.
Drama Fever, and I was not expecting serial
Yeah.
killer,
No.
and I definitely
that-
wasn't expecting him to have vast amounts of screen time.
And a rape dungeon. That was pretty fucking
Yeah.
weird.
But then the fluffy side was so
Was so
fluffy.
good.
Yeah.
The fluffy side was so enjoyable.
And
then,
so
well,
I
with
kept
a
on
few
going back to the
caveats,
fluffy.
Of course, there was some weird homophobic stuff.
Well, I
and-
mean, I'm
Yeah.
not trying to go in depth of the
no,
whole
but
show.
like we're not doing an in-depth analysis of the politics of Strong Woman Do Bong Soon here. Like
I'm just saying
that's not our jam.
I expected rom-com, and that
Yeah.
was it.
But that
Yeah.
was
And I
like a
think
nice
there's a
solid
way to
rom-com.
do like serial killer in a rom-com without making it make you want to throw up, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you know what? Another one that year was Suspicious Partner.
Yeah.
The serial killer plotline in that made me want to vomit.
Really?
Frequently. I felt,
I didn't find that one as
especially
bad.
when the big reveal came of like when they had the big reveal of how he was actually involved. Like it made me feel horrible for
I
the
actually
character. Like I don't want to feel bad, sad, okay, disappointed maybe, or like, oh no, I hope this works out. But I don't want to feel like that gut wrenching, like this is a horrible story. This is a bad, sad, horrible, realistic thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I
it
actually
happened-
really
like I
like
don't
Suspicious
want that in a
Partners.
rom-com.
I'm like a big Suspicious Partners fan. I thought it was great.
I
But then
ultimately
again, I
really-
really like thriller stuff.
This partner, it wasn't one of my favorites, but I just don't think of it as rom-com. Like it didn't.
No.
it
I
didn't
didn't
rom-com
consider it a rom-com
real
either.
Mm.
Like
So-
I after like the first episode was a rom-com.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh wait, just kidding. We've lulled you into a false sense of security. This is actually like a terse
It's a
thriller.
legal
And I was
drama.
like, yes. Like I was like, okay.
A legal drama plus a serial killer.
Yeah, and I was like, all right. And then I like really enjoyed it because I like that sort of stuff. Like one of my favorites from last year, or was it the year before, was Save Me, and that's not a rom-com obviously, but that was like on the same sort of like, like thriller vibe that I really enjoyed.
But as far as the way it was marketed,
yeah,
which I haven't looked through all of the teasers of Suspicious
You're right,
Partner,
you're
but I've
right.
looked through a little bit of it. They were dancing and stuff. So like,
yeah. But I will admit, on Suspicious Partners, when it did come down to the romance, oh boy,
Yeah.
fan self. Nice.
to me, it was not a romantic comedy.
No, it was a romantic thriller.
Yeah, I think there's this
Yeah.
like weird like gray area between a rom-com and a melodrama, and there's just
Mhm.
like no actual genre for it.
Yeah.
So that's why I think like rom-coms can kind of get
Yeah, it gets sort of like,
titled as a
added-
rom-com.
Yeah, it gets sort of labeled as a certain genre because there is no actual, like, romantic thriller is not a genre. But that's what it was. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
it should be a genre.
I mean,
guess
come
that's
and
my
hug
point.
me that.
So like even
I feel
Strong
like
Woman
we
Do
should-
Bong Soon, romantic
Romantic
comedy thriller.
yeah,
There should be
romantic
that tag on
crime
it.
drama.
It probably is a thing on Netflix, like how
Yeah.
they have such like
Netflix has,
I
like,
bet
the
that
most-
is, like if you watch enough of them, you could get like romantic Asian crime dramas.
And I'm like, yes.
You're like, oh, yay.
But I've been watching some rom-coms, rewatching some rom-coms this week in the beginning of February. My husband's going away for 6 weeks the day after Valentine's Day. So I've been sort of like bummed a little about that. Like he has like a job and stuff, whatever. So I've been watching like just fun little rom-coms. So I rewatched What's Wrong with Secretary Kim. Much better as a binge than as a watch once a week.
Okay.
It's less like you feel less like, oh, why are they doing this tragic backstory bit when you're just like, oh, okay, like
Well, you've been through it.
yeah, you're like, okay, I know what's coming, like this is fine. And then I'm also rewatching my secret shame of a favorite drama, Beautiful Kong Shim. That drama made me fall in love with Nam Goon Ming, and I love him and his tired, sexy eyes. And Mina looks like G-Dragon in a wig. So what's not to love?
What's not to love?
And that one's actually like a nice straight up rom-com, but it does also, of course, there's like a birth secret, and look, we can't fully divorce ourselves from the K-drama world if we're we're watching. So and it does have he leaves for a while, but they text each other, so it's not like
What?
Miracle.
I know.
They know that texting exists?
It's a cute one. That's my rom-com contribution this month.
Cool.
It's an oldie but a goodie.
Is that all you've been
Or just
watching,
binging.
Natalia? Just those two things?
And variety shows. Oh, no, that's not all I've been watching because all of us have been watching, but that comes later. It's everyone else's favorite K-drama rom-coms. Come on.
Well, and what have we been watching, too?
I'm trying to think what my favorite rom-com is. I don't know off the top of my head.
It's interesting because I tend to like shows that are a little more on the sad side.
Yeah, I'm more of a melodrama person. With rom-coms, I think what I look for the most is a good group of side characters that I really love, because rom-coms do tend to have the really cute, funny side character storyline that goes on, and I really like that because it tends to be a found family.
Yeah, that's where Secretary Kim really succeeded. Yeah, it was all the office workers were all just delightful.
Don't go for rom-coms that much. I still enjoy them, but I still need something else because I'm not in it just for the rom-com side.
Jugglers is another good example of a rom-com.
Yeah, Jugglers was really good. I liked it a lot.
So did Mama Jo, my mom. Well, she liked Choi Daniels' looks.
I don't know if it would be a rom-com. I guess. Yeah, I guess it would be a rom-com. Would be 20th Century Boy and Girl. I really enjoyed that one. It was just easy.
You're making me want to watch it more.
It's just sweet and cute, and like you guys were saying, the side characters and the besties from high school and the family and the everything. And it's just cute, and they sort of do a love triangle, but not really, because it's never really a thing. It just all goes nicely and cute and sweet and fun, and I just
My Venus, that's another straight up rom-com.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean, as dark as it gets is
it's not that dark.
Well,
it's dark, but it's not dark.
I was just saying that his backstory of a lot of pain and surgeries and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they do the noble idiocy thing.
Well, yeah.
Which kind of was.
We have to accept some of these things.
I forgive him because he knits her a big scarf.
That's true. He does knit her an epic scarf.
He has to do one of those for the next 15 years.
He has a beautiful face, and that can get him pretty far. That's nice abdominal situation. Just nice from top to bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
The Beauty Inside, which just aired this past.
That was a good rom-com.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did. When it first aired, I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this. And then once I started, it was like
I was
devastating to me when drama fever was gone, and I was like,
Yeah.
what am I gonna do? I really need to watch the like rest of the show.
I may have ventured into.
I Cannot Hug You.
Oh,
Chinese one.
That's so true.
I Cannot Hug You.
Yeah.
That one is just, again, the first half. The second one, I Cannot Hug You too, gets a little more like muddled, I would say. Like it gets not dark exactly, but it's not as easy and cute and fun as
I find that there's more like straight up Chinese rom-coms than there are Korean rom-coms.
I would say so.
Like, because I think of like
Accidentally in Love, and that
Mr.
one was
Mermaid.
Yeah, I think you're right. There's not that same need to throw some mellow into it or something.
Fox's Summer, that was not usually like the mellow is like the rich guy whose mother doesn't like the not rich girl. That's usually the extent of.
I think
like, how dare you
Taiwanese
take my son? Nah.
I think Taiwanese dramas are similar. I think that they can go pretty simple sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they like a good straight up rom-com. Kudos. But sometimes there's rom-coms going like really weird journeys, and I'm thinking of Prince of Wolves or Wolf Prince. that was a weird journey that we all took together on that one.
Yes, I haven't watched that one yet.
I mean huskies that are definitely wolves.
So I'm trying to look through the things that I have watched to look at rom-coms, and I'm going to give a short story about one that I thought was a rom-com, and it was a rom-com for probably the first half.
Isn't that always the way?
Fall in Love with Me, and it has a couple of different titles. So it's a Taiwanese drama.
Yeah.
With Aaron Yan in it, which means you got to watch it. So he kind of plays two different versions of himself, a dorky version, really sweet, and then the successful jerky version. Mm-hmm. So of course it's awesome, rom-com wise. And then before I even knew what makjang was, which I know that's a Korean thing, but it pretty much went full on makjang half the way through and never came back. Like it was just this horrific, and you had to keep watching to see if they ended up together. That's the only reason why you had to keep watching.
Yeah.
And of course they end up together, but like in weird broken pieces that are just sad. Oh my goodness. So it's like if you watch
on a wild ride,
just watch the first half.
And then just the last episode.
And then maybe the last 15 minutes of the last episode, and you'll be okay.
Good to know.
Then it would be a good rom-com, I think.
Oh boy.
I mean, I was scarred. I do not get scarred from shows, but that almost made me walk away from dramas like permanently. It was that.
Oh no. Wow.
I find in if we're talking like Thai rom-coms, GMM TV is like just shoving out silly rom-coms like they're going out of style.
That's true.
Which they're not going out of style.
No, they're definitely not. And they're usually pretty short, so you can usually like whip your way
12
through.
or 13 episodes is sort of the typical.
Yeah, but like
nice.
Yeah, like 45 minutes plus like super long opening credits and super long ending credits you can just skip.
And another Korean thing that I haven't ventured into a lot, but I know that it's a V Live and it might be on YouTube too. But Playlist, they do short little rom-coms that
I've heard of it.
actors have been in, not like the super heavy hitters, but like the younger ones. I think they have a pretty good variety of shorter rom-coms that I've heard about, like surprisingly good quality type that I haven't ventured into a ton.
I still haven't finished it. I'm on episode 11, but 100 Days My Prince, I think is a good.
I am on episode 11 too.
Hey, we should watch it together.
We should just
keep
open it
not
up
going further than 11.
I'm also on episode 11.
I'm not watching it at all. So there you go.
We have to make ourselves finish this show, guys.
I know.
That's so funny.
I think there's some that I'm on my drama list, and some of these, like Kimi wa Peto is labeled comedy romance.
Kinky rom-com.
It is. It's a little bit
only
weird
tag,
again.
too. It's just comedy and romance. It doesn't even have anything else to it.
That's true.
Well, like what else would you put?
I know. I don't know.
What sort of regular genres would you apply to that? Is the real question.
Romance.
It's like, do you
J-drama?
It's like, did you like 50 Shades of Grey, but none of the sex scenes? Well, have we got a show for you?
Not that bad.
Yeah, I know.
I just thought of one. Cinderella and the Four Knights.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a solid rom-com.
Solid. Yep.
Trot Lovers. I think I'm probably the only one who's seen it.
Is
Yeah.
it good?
Okay.
What?
Now, it's not bad, and it does have Shinsun Rock as the second male lead, which is mwah.
Important.
And it has the girl from A Pink who was in Cheer Up is the main,
Yunji.
and then the
Oh,
guy from Queen and Hyun's Man is the main lead, and basically the plot is he's a musician, like a disgraced musician who helps her become like a trot singer.
Right. Okay.
Real specific, like real niche show, but it's not bad. It's like it's not good. Like I'm not gonna be like, wow, Trot Lovers, most amazing show ever made. But it's like it's pretty fun, though it does have a really stupid amnesia plotline. Spoiler alert. But it doesn't the amnesia plotline does not last long, so.
I haven't seen all of it, but Shopping King Louie, I'm guessing this rom-com.
Oh, I love Shopping King Louie so much. How did I not think of it? Yeah, that one's like straight up rom-com good times.
I'm like probably one of the only people who I've heard that have watched it that don't necessarily like it, but Flower Boy Next Door is also
Yeah,
a rom-com.
Yeah, it's pretty solid rom-com. I've seen it twice. Mostly because I just missed what's his face. You know what I mean, the main dude.
Yeah.
And he was I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch it again. But like, it's not good. It's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
They're really not that good looking. I just want to like Flower Boy a stretch, but it's a rom-com. There's my review. It's a rom-com.
It's a rom-com.
Oh,
I know. Here's one. Sorry. It's a movie. Red Carpet is actually a rom-com, and it's actually pretty decent.
Oh yes, the movie. I love that one.
Yeah.
Yes, Red Carpet.
It has
Wow.
Chan Sung in it.
It does have for any of our younger listeners.
Oh yeah.
It does have adult content.
It stars the girl who's gonna be in that show Possessed. I don't know what her name is.
Oh, okay.
It's surprisingly cute and surprisingly a really great found family
Yeah.
movie too.
And it's about a porn director who
Mhm.
wants to make not porn films.
Yeah, he basically got into porn films because it was paying the bills.
Yeah. And now he can't get out
Yeah, because he was successful.
because he was a really good porn maker. And then it's just him and his like porn crew and porn actors. Like they're
And then
just a delight.
Then they make a film.
Then they make a real movie.
It's super adorable.
It is really cute.
That sounds
what about, I haven't seen these, but I've heard really good things. Splish Splash Love and Two Jenny.
Oh,
I've
Split
seen
Splash
both of
Love is
them.
Cute.
Yeah, I wouldn't say well,
It is a
what kind of a rom-com
yeah.
is it?
Yeah, I'd say it is.
I really liked it though.
Yeah. Surplus Princess. That's a solid rom.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like,
Yeah.
when
Kim
you
Soo-gi. That
go
led me
there,
directly. Surplus
Yeah.
Princess. We should.
It's not hard to get there.
No,
You're like
like-
Kim Soo-gi, water. Oh, Surplus Princess. Like
That's like
yeah,
the
okay.
third time I've mentioned that show today too. Like Surplus.
So it's like, hint,
it's a good one.
Hint.
Yeah, we should watch Surplus Princess. It's only 12 episodes. 12
Easy.
beautiful episodes.
Okay.
Yeah, so like
So there's a lot out there
Yeah.
that are pretty much purely rom-com.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's many more. I think K-dramas
Many.
air on that side.
mm,
At least ones you can find easily subbed.
yeah.
And I would say, okay, so for me, rom-coms were probably how I wound up starting to watch Asian dramas in general. Like, I stumbled across a few Taiwanese rom-coms on Netflix, and then that's kind of how I...
I think that's like similar to a lot of people. I feel like if you're like, yeah, I want to watch a really good terse thriller, you don't immediately think, like you should, because there are some good ones, but you don't immediately think, yeah, K-dramas, that's where to go for those. But for like, you know, my mom calls them the Harlequins of television. Like, you know,
Yeah.
So for me, I'm a super, super easy sell for rom-coms. Like, even though, like, I'm trying to stretch my boundaries and I try to make space in my watching schedule to watch other things, what ends up usually taking up space? Rom-coms.
Yeah.
And then I'll try to smush in other things, but I kind of can't resist them.
Like, rom-coms make you feel good.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
It's really good when you're like stressed and
Yeah.
you just don't want to like really like think about things or like invest in things that like will get you hyped up or like even like more emotional. It's kind of just a nice like put it
It's a
on
breather.
and just
yeah.
be
And
happy.
And I've kind of, the past month or so since I went to where I wasn't watching as much, and so I just got to like pretty much rom-com level again. It's like, and I was kind of stressed out. So when you're tired or stressed, for me, it's like, just return to the rom-coms, and then whenever I have brain space again, you know, I'll fill it with something else. But rom-coms are an easy sell for me. So
They're good at like making you just feel better about life. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if you're having a bad day or you're feeling anxious or something, you just want to watch something silly that you know will end well. And the rom-com is there for you.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel like that's a key point of the rom-com is that you know they're going to get together in the end.
Yeah.
If there's any doubt in your mind beginning, like that maybe it won't happen, maybe you're not watching a rom-com. Like,
yeah.
So that's like how Fairy and the Woodcutter, to me, didn't feel rom-com-y a lot of the time because I wasn't chill enough that it was going to work out like I wanted.
And there was a lot going on in that one that, like, especially in the final few episodes when they were like throwing at you all the backstory and stuff. And I was like, this could have been a really good drama.
I mean, I didn't watch it, but I could see it being like, there's also that kind of weird genre where it has romance and it has comedy, but it's not really rom-com.
I think that it's like important to sort of make a distinction between that. Like, just because something has romance and comedy doesn't necessarily mean it's a rom-com. Because like I feel like rom-coms, that needs to be the main focus, needs to be the couple, and then it needs to have a happy ending.
Yeah, I feel like
probably no serial killers.
Maybe.
Just saying.
Get out there, just sliding it into,
like,
you know.
Maybe just don't do it.
Well, there was a rom-com infographic going around Twitter this week, and I thought it kind of worked well for what we were talking about. And it starts off with, is the movie a comedy? No, then it's not a rom-com.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, move to the next step. Is the movie centered around a relationship? No, not a rom-com. Yes. Move to the next step. Does a shenanigan bring the couple together or test their relationship? No, not a rom-com.
Not a rom-com. No, the shenanigans. Very.
And then there's there's a third option in this one, and I'm not sure maybe what exactly qualifies as a shenanigan. That puts you into this movie could be a rom-com, use your evaluative judgment.
Yeah.
And if you go to yes, it says, now does it feel like a rom-com?
Yeah.
If yes, then yes, this is a rom-com. If no, it might be a rom-com. Use your best judgment. So
I do think rom-coms, episode in, episode out, you generally feel kind of a pick-me-up after watching it.
Yeah.
Or at least pretty chill.
Except if you're watching, like, say, a 16-episode drama, between episodes 12 and 14, you're going for the dark turn. You gotta let the bad stuff happen. Then you're back. But
I'm saying on whole,
super dark, right?
No, you're not gonna pull a suspicious partner.
You still knew it was headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
It was just like oh.
You just had to go through this dark time, and then there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Listen, it's the part that tests the relationship, and when they get through it, they're better for it.
You know, if
not every relationship's perfect, guys.
If they ever do the dark turn earlier, like episode 5 or 8, that would be a really strange sensation.
Yeah, like you'd be like, wait, whoa.
And then you would be paranoid.
You'd be like, oh no, is this getting canceled early? Like,
or you're gonna be like, wait a minute, is this person actually the second lead? Wait a minute.
Is someone gonna die and then we have to go through this all over again? Like, or like if they developed it backwards. I mean, it would just be really interesting if the show did something like that. Like took all of your perceptions of that and just kind of flipped them. So do we like to play a game?
Would you like to play a game?
Is that
Yeah,
creepy?
sure, Jigsaw.
In
Let's
a
let's get this going.
I don't think this is a rom-com.
With a serial killer, apparently.
I always knew there was something shifty about Sky.
Did it really sound that creepy?
No, it's just because it's from Saw.
Which I have never watched. Imagine
I've
that.
only seen the first one. It was so gross that I was like, I'm done.
Torture
But,
porn is not my thing.
Like, I like supernatural horror, not gore horror.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like monsters and ghosts and vampires,
Mhm.
which can also make a good rom-com. Just put it out there. Hey. All right. So what game are we playing today, Sky? What are we playing?
We haven't named the game, so maybe we can name it later.
We're due.
So we are going to talk about what pairings, what actor and actress pairings we did like in rom-coms that we would like to recreate. And maybe they weren't in rom-coms. Maybe they were.
Yeah,
It was even in
not
some
in a rom-com,
type of
but,
genre.
like, see them.
But
in a
they
rom-
should make a rom-com.
So where we got this idea was show Touch Your Heart and how the two, the actor and the actress, were in Goblin. Everyone really liked that second couple.
Mm-hmm.
They had their story in that show, and everyone would like to see them again, and so they're actually in Touch Your Heart together, and everyone was pretty jazzed about that. So that's where we got the idea.
Mm-hmm. We're simple people.
Yeah.
All right, well, I've got one. I'll start us off. Okay, so I think it was last year, maybe the year before, there was a 50-episode weekend drama called Father is Strange. And basically, every single couple in that show, I would watch again in another show. Like, every single one. They were all...
desperately want him to, like, it's Lee Jun, right, who was in that?
Oh, Lee
I want
Jun,
him to come out of the army and, like, they make a sequel series, 50-episode weekender called, like, Grandpa is Strange or something about
they're together in real life.
I
They
know.
really are a couple.
Real to real, my friend. And I just love Lee Jun. I would watch him, like, read the cereal box. Doing some beautiful ballet. I just love him.
They had a lot of good couples in that.
But literally every couple in that show, I would watch in a rom-com of their own.
Yeah.
They were all delightful.
For sure.
Especially like the youngest girl and her soccer coach.
Yep.
My heart.
Yes.
Oh, I thought of another one. Okay. This one was also another 50 episoder. I had a long winter one year. 5 children. All the couples in that too. Again, they were just. That's actually a really good sort of. Now, is it a rom-com? No, like weekend dramas are, but it was pretty light, and it had a wonderful found family, literally, like, because one woman has 3 kids, a single dad has 2 kids, and they fall in love, and they have 5 kids. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have that
Very
right.
Brady Bunch of them.
Beautiful. And it was called 5 Children. It was a good one. I really enjoyed it. I forced Briggsy to watch it with me, and I don't think he loved it as much as I did. But
I think the ones that, for me, that I would like to see in a rom-com are the ones where they weren't in a rom-com before. Like, it was, or it wasn't, they had great chemistry, but the show was crap, or, like, the show was great, but tragic, or, So the ones that immediately come to mind, just with you talking about weekenders, The Man Who Sets the Table, or Man in the Kitchen, it was called, and, like, dad, and it was, like, horrible and abusive, and it was, like, horrible to watch, and they threw all this Mac Jang into it. They had, like, great couples, and then they, like, tried to tear them apart and stuff, and it was, like, but it started with this one couple, and it was Chae Soo-young and On Ju-won, and they were delightful together. Like, just had this weird, like, cranky boss and free, lighthearted employee kind of get together thing and then torn apart and then come back together and then, but like the show wasn't well written and it didn't do them. They didn't get to be together. Like it just was like wasted. So I'd like to see them in a proper rom-com where they're going to get together and they get to spend lots of time, like a proper like Secretary Kim kind of thing where they're together in like 90% of the scenes. It's them, making eyes at each other and being silly.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see that because I think they had really good chemistry and they were cute together. And the other one that I would really like to see would be what's his name? Lee Jun Ki, and IU from Scarlet Heart.
Oh yes, please let them be happy.
They were adorable together. They were beautiful together. They looked good together. They clearly became kind of tight friends.
Yeah,
like they like each other as friends. Stuff.
Yeah,
I'd like them to maybe wait a little while before they did anything like that because I know there are still some like serious Scarlet Heart shippers who would like go crazy about it, but I just would like to see them do something that was less tragic.
Yeah,
I think nice.
He's due for a rom-com. He's been doing some serious stuff, so yeah. Another one that I would like is another 50 episode weekender, except that I didn't actually like this one. Father, I'll Take Care of You. But anyway, the girl from Age of Youth and the guy who played the bodyguard in W were a couple. And they were really adorable, but the show was so bad. Listen, guys, I'm about to tell you something. It's going to shock you. It was so bad I stopped watching it.
What? I didn't think that could happen.
Bad.
I know. I couldn't take it anymore. It was so bad that I could not take it. That's how bad it was. But
how far did you get?
I got like 2/3 of the way through. Like I got way further than I should have. Like it was like I got to like 30 episodes or something and I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is so bad. Like I loved that couple, but like everything else in the show, and there was like a cute dog and shit, and I was like, oh, I want to like this, but it's just bad.
So I was trying to go through my list because I know there are side characters that I thought worked really good together, but I just can't remember them. Like if I watch them again, I'd see them and be like, yeah. But going through my list, if I could, in Your House Helper, Ha Jin was paired with the lead girl, and it was my personal opinion that it was a terrible pairing, and they had no chemistry whatsoever. But he had like enormous chemistry with one of the other girls that like were one of her best friends, and she is the girl. She's in Waikiki. I can't remember her name. She was the like sister in Waikiki.
Okay,
sister of one of the girls.
Yeah.
They were great together every single time that they had any scene, which was actually a fair amount. I think that pairing would be really great.
I sort of hate it when you're watching a show where obviously like the chemistry, like they're pushing the wrong couple based on on-screen chemistry. Another one is My Secret Hotel.
Oh yeah.
Which has the girl.
Yeah, we just talked about that. For 12 nights because
like,
it's the same writer.
Her and Nam Goon Min, off the charts chemistry. Her and the first male lead, awful. Just you're like, really?
Yeah.
Like there's no. cut, bad.
You know what? Also, I don't know if I would like pair them together as a romantic couple, but for Beauty Inside, I really loved Lee Da-hee and Lee Min-ki's relationship together. I thought they played really well together. So I don't know if I would see them as like a romantic relationship, but I would love to see them in another show together because I just thought that they worked well off of each other.
I'm going to talk about the easy one that we all share the same opinion on. Where Stars Land, the adorable security couple.
Yes.
In fact, just make it a spin-off and it works. It's fine.
Yes.
Yeah. Easy.
They're the best. They're so cute.
I mean, we really liked all like the behind the scenes stuff about the airport, so it would work.
Yeah. I think we can all admit we just want them to remake Where Stars Land as like a rom-com about a cute security couple and a disabled guy.
That's
Done.
it.
Like none of this supernatural bullshit. Just okay. I'm still haunted, guys. I'm still haunted by the show that could have been.
But actually, even a totally different premise, they could pull off really good chemistry, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna talk about the 2 shows we watched.
Yes, let's
do it.
So all of us have watched the first 4 episodes of Romance is a Bonus Book on Netflix and the first 2 episodes of Touch Your Heart on Viki.
It was a lot within a few days, really.
It was, but like really, I was gonna just watch the first 2 of Romance is the bonus book,
but I just
it's
did.
Good.
Yeah.
I just had to keep going. Like it was like, yep, keep on
It
going.
just kept going, and I kept going. So
Just autoplayed to the next episode, and I was like, well,
Sure.
I got nothing else to do today. So,
Like to start off with, just because we were talking about what makes a rom-com, I would say personally that I would say Romance is a Bonus Book is not a rom-com.
I would as
As
well.
opposed to Touch Your Heart is very clearly a rom-com. It is
100%.
rom-com.
yeah.
This is
Solid.
clearly a rom-com.
Like it's
Right.
so much a rom-com that I'm like, how are they gonna make a dark turn for this? Like,
How are they gonna make this last 16 episodes? It's
yeah,
too-
I'm like, okay,
I see about 4 or 5 episodes worth, and where else are we going with this? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they have some couples
That's
starting
true. They have-
within
they
the,
have a couple,
the
like,
office.
things going on.
that's true.
And there's clearly the whole like drug story of like this
that'll
drug
probably
scandal.
be a dark turn. Will be that guy
Yeah.
comes back or
Exactly. They seem to be setting that up that he'll come back and whatever stuff will happen. Shenanigans. See?
that's how you know.
Whereas Romance is a
Shenanigans.
Bonus Book. Are you saying Romance is a Bonus Book is more of office slice of life? Is that your opinion?
Yeah.
I would
There's
think
no
so.
real shenanigans. It's all very
And the shenanigans are
realistic.
like real things. Like
yeah.
Yeah. And the humor is
real
real. It's
tragic.
not like
Yeah, it's not
Played
like
out.
contrived, like,
No.
girl is really stupid. It's just like, sometimes something like he gets drunk and gets in the cab and drives to her old house. Like, that's hilarious. Like, because she lives at his house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's sort of, but you could see someone doing that. You know what I mean? Like, but
When it comes to the second lead guy, I get rom-com-y vibes with him.
yeah, so much more than, what's his face? Jungkook.
problem why it's not a rom-com because I could very, very easily see that they are not the end game. That the 2 leads are not the end game. The end game is them with their seconds.
So I feel
and
like
then
the 2
fixing
leads,
their friendship and moving, forward as friends.
I feel like the 2 leads aren't, because like they don't make sense as a couple.
they make sense as like a brother and sister couple.
Yeah, sort of
like
how she
Clearly
sees
has
him.
a crush on her.
yeah.
He's had a crush on her for years. Like
Yeah.
it clearly, and it's messed up his ability to relationship.
Mhm.
So
But that's
that
not
needs
him, really.
sorted out before the end of things, right? That's
Yeah.
it. He needs
So I
to
think
figure out
his journey, I think, should not be to get the girl. His journey should be to get over the girl. And
Yeah.
to get with the super nice girl who clearly is in love with him and would be a really good match.
And let the girl that he has a crush on grow up and do her thing.
Yeah.
Like, let her live her life. Maybe help her as a friend, but
Mhm.
stop doing the crush thing.
in one of the first 2 episodes, I think, and they do the flashback to when he first meets the guy that will become her husband, and he treats her so badly, and he sort of says in the voiceover like, and that's when I knew like love wasn't for me, because if that's what love looked like, I didn't want it. And so to me, what I see is the healing for him comes from then maybe seeing her in an actually healthy, happy relationship.
Funny about that flashback was that was how she treated him. Like, because she sort of was kind of a jerk to him, but they were friends. So it was very like a sibling-y, we love each other, but I'm going to just kind of be
Yeah.
Well, and
little minx to ya,
with the 2 of them, like, it's forced living as well as office, as well as, friends to lovers. Like, it's a lot going on, but they're doing it well. They're balancing it well.
Yeah,
But
I'm really enjoying it. It's
Me
really
too.
well made.
Yeah, there's
like-
some really nice little moments that I thought were really great that I thought they would do one way, but they didn't. Like
Yeah.
the fact that she actually didn't get that job because of him, and they made it very clear that she didn't get the job. It was because of that other guy really liked her, responses on the questionnaires, when she was like being called to do all this stuff and he tried to keep on interjecting, she was like, listen, I can do this. You got to let me do this.
Yeah.
But also she's like, I was a mom and a wife. Obviously, I'm like set up to be a multitasker. I can do this. You just have to let me. And then it was really nice that he actually backed off of it too.
Yeah.
And just kind of let her.
What I really like about the show is sort of how it shows the reality of how life is for working women. What I like about it is it's sort of making like, because they say like, oh, like if you get married, you should have children. And if you have children, you should stay home. But then once your children are done and you try to go back to work, they're like, well, you were just home with your children. What do you know about the business world?
You know about like,
but it's like, but I like that's what they said I had to do. Like I didn't want to stop working.
Well, it's like that one woman at the one interview, and the woman says to her, I made sacrifices to be in this job, to keep being in this job. You don't know the sacrifices I've made to be here.
Yeah, but it's like,
so what makes you think that you get to just walk back in? And like that's a flip side of the coin, right? Like, and she recognizes that too at a certain point where she's like, yeah, other people have made sacrifices and choices too. Mine are just different sacrifices.
Yeah, like because she also made sacrifices that didn't really turn out great for her at the beginning. But yeah, no, like I think like that sort of resonates with a lot of women, like I don't have kids obviously, but I have been out of the official workforce for many years, and I did try to find a job and no one would hire me because I hadn't had a job for like 4 years. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this feels unfair because I am qualified to work places.
It's not as if you don't have the skill set. It's not as if it vanished.
I was doing other things, like.
And that's what's really great about this show, because they also, not only are they like centering on like her not having the experience, but also her age and like how she literally had to rip up all of her like accomplishments to get the job. And that the young girl that like comes in late and her mom calls in and is like she's gonna be late and she like knows nothing, it was easy for her to get the job. And so they're showing kind of that balance of like being an older woman in the workforce as well.
I think that older thing though, like when it comes to the idea of building a romance between the two leads, is sometimes it's like an age gap doesn't mean anything, but the age gap, you really feel it here because it's like a life gap too, right?
Yeah, like she
is a middle-aged mom, and he is like a guy who's still
he drives a fancy car and like sleeps around. Like their lives are very different.
And they obviously drifted apart. Like they're like if they had stayed together like as close as they were, I think it would be a little bit different. But since there was that period of like separation almost, that's where it starts to get like I don't know that they're together, and then she's also like being a mom, she's like, oh, turn off the light, put on your slippers,
put your slippers on, turn off the light, I made you dinner, get up, and like she treats him like a big sister or a mom, and that's kind of weird. That doesn't build romance vibes for me. Like it just doesn't. I'm like, and I was saying at one point that the show was gonna have to work really, really hard if they're gonna convince me, because they've convinced me for the second lead.
Oh yeah,
no problem. But in both cases, they've easily convinced me for those second leads.
He's so dreamy, right? The second,
and he has a puppy,
and he has a cute ass dog,
and the shoe thing, like he's all kinds of cute, and they had me at hello. Like you're going to have to work. And I had somebody say, oh, wow, you really hate him. No, I don't really hate him. I just look at it and say, he is not a good match for her. Mm-hmm. Like, there's nothing that tells me these two belong together as more than best friends and, siblings. You're going to have to work. I could see that you could get me there, but there's going to have to be a time jump, and there's going to have to be some serious, serious work put in.
Yeah.
It's a K-drama, so obviously it could go like completely different way. But they're kind of almost setting up that maybe there could be a possibility that they don't get together, because Lee Ha-joon, she's usually that character you would already start to see them, especially because the position that she's in the office, you would see them being really kind of mean towards her, and she's like not. She's at the like stern level she like normally is for everyone, but like she's not an evil person to her. So like
no. Well, even
kind of realistic. Like
right? Like she helped her out when she was like trying to come up with ideas for blurbs, and she was like giving her actual constructive criticism for her job and stuff. And it was like not what I expected. Like I expected this is going to be the like I tear you down moment, or
I thought she was going to be the one to take the steel,
But
and their little like moment in the elevator too was really great.
Yeah, like it's just good. Like, and she's nice. There's nothing wrong with her. Like I'm like okay, and she seems really good for him. Like her parents love him, and like they just seem to fit really well. And clearly the reason why they can't be together is because he has this weird crush on, not weird crush, but like he's got this unrequited love.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, her husband was trash, so he spent, over a decade going, well, I'm better than that guy.
He didn't have to work that hard though. Like, let's
no.
He's alive because of her too, so that like plays into
so there's
his
like a sort of
love
the
of
savior
her.
complex.
Yeah.
I really wish they played that up a little bit more, like that they did kind of that thing like in I was saying in White Christmas, where he saves his life, and then the movie White Christmas, not the K-drama, but and he also like the one guy is always like, because he injured himself saving the other one, so he's always like rubbing his elbow and like, oh,
when he wants something from him,
whenever he wants something. And I wish that they had something kind of like that, where she would go like, no, it's okay, I don't need to stay here, and then she'd like try to pick up her bag and be like, oh, my elbow, and like,
it still twinges when it rains.
like just kind of in that way where that they both know that it's not actually guilting anybody, but it's just kind of their thing. Like I that would have killed me if they had that in there.
I think what might, I'm not sure I'm going to say throw a wrench into things, but I think what might make us guess more with Romance is a Bonus Book is if all of a sudden the second lead characters meet, and if they have okay chemistry, that's going to kind of cause more questions. Because, I mean, we're really not that far yet. That could still happen.
That's true. We are only 4 episodes in.
They're very charming characters. If they bumped into in a bookstore, it's not like they're going to hate each other. I mean...
No, for the main leads to get together, it has to be a final act get together. They can't get together in the next 4 episodes. Like, it can't happen. There's no way for it to...
The gap is too large.
It needs to be maybe in the end. A final episode, a final couple episodes get together, not a get together and then break up and then get, like it just can't.
When I was kind of looking around and I was looking at some of the behind the scenes stuff, I was watching some of the press release, their little first like press release. And what I found, I'm not like a fan of Lee Jung-suk, not because I don't like him, because this is like the second thing I've ever seen in him, so I don't follow him or anything. But the MC was really funny because apparently the female lead is who he always said in variety shows as his type. Like he said on Strong Hearts, he said it. He's like, they have like clips of it that like it's him saying it. So like the MC was like really just kind of dogging him on this, and he's just like, please just like close your ears. And so like you could tell he still has that kind of like smitten vibe towards.
He's got a little crush.
So I wonder if that's like also kind of translating into his acting because he's working with her. So like the little like smiles that he does after might like be a little bit more genuine than like just them being 2 actors that had been cast together for their first role together.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Though in my opinion, he's good at chemistry in general.
Yeah,
like, in like, W, he has good chemistry.
Yeah, and pretty much everything I've seen him in, as like if he's romantic, like you're like, yeah, I buy this.
He had chemistry with
everyone,
anyone.
Like but he does chemistry.
But I do find that fascinating.
I'll leave the link below.
Cool.
But yeah, it's like, I mean, it's obvious. He's just like, please close your ears. Like,
that'd be so embarrassing. Oh my God.
That would be kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then in terms of the other show that we watched,
Uh-huh.
what a different show. Like, it's like a now for something completely different. While still being an office
Yeah.
romance comedy. It's very
And an
rom-com.
older cast too, so like more older cast.
Yeah, so it's
very rom-com.
very rom-com. I so far I like it because I like silly fluffy stuff, but I feel like they made her too stupid. Like, she's very dumb in sort of a way that an actress could not get away with being so dumb.
I think they kind of tried the angle because she was cast so young. She's been coddled her entire life since like high school when she was cast in that one chocolate bar commercial. Like, that was the start of her. So she like I can see where they're trying, because it's also she's dumb but super endearing and very sweet and kind. So that, like, I don't know if they're like,
and she does try hard. I'll give her that.
And she's got a crazy memory. So you can see, because that was the big tear in the beginning. It was like, she did one semester of law school. How? Like,
how the hell did you get it?
30 vitamins because there was 30 in the cat. Like, she thought they, like, you're like, okay, no, how? But then you realize,
the way I described it for Sky was she has a photographic memory but can't understand anything she remembers.
Yeah, like, it's a straightforward, if like you have a question, if she's memorized the answer, she can give it.
Yeah.
But it, like, to describe it or like elaborate, it's not going to happen.
Well, she could memorize her lines as an actress, but she couldn't.
Which sort of explains how
imagine the feeling behind it,
Because you just have to write an exam, right? So.
Yeah, I don't know. Korea could be completely different than it is.
True.
I honestly feel like episode 1 for her made it look like she was very, very stupid. But episode 2, and yes, she was trying hard, but I do feel like there was still some problem solving going on, that it felt like she didn't have in episode 1. Like, I was really concerned in episode 1.
I was concerned as well.
But episode 2, to me, she doesn't even seem that dumb anymore. I know it's still kind of there a little bit, but, he said to go look up the precedents and all these things, and it's not that she just, she figured that out. Like, she could she had the ability to do that.
I don't
she had
think
the ability to reason through
hopeless.
And sort.
I think she's just clueless.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's what they were trying to go for, but, like, in the first episode, it came off as dumb as a brick.
Yeah, because, like, they also have the things where, like, she can't do, or, like, she has anxiety doing, like, simple things like calling a taxi for herself and that sort of thing. And I think that plays back into that. Like, she's had it, like, especially in Korea, how entertainment set up. When you have a manager, they do everything for you. Like, it's not like an actor here. You would be potentially driving the car and you would be doing this and this and this, and she wasn't. And then if that's all she had consistently, and that's probably the only person she ever, like, really was close with besides whatever happened with a dating scandal or whatever, like, I can see that it being kind of like, it wasn't really like her actual intelligence, it was her environment creating
but she has the ability to do well. She's just never been required to do well. Like, they haven't even required her to learn how to act properly. She's just been told to memorize lines and look pretty. Like, nobody, 15 years she's been in the business, and nobody's ever said to her, you know what, take an acting class. Let's
take it up a notch.
Let's try to do well at your job. Nobody's encouraged her to do well at her job. They've just
until the screenwriter said,
she was like cash cow, so they were like, oh, just get her to do the easy stuff, and then we'll work on the other ones.
And when they do the flashbacks of her, like, of her acting jobs, and they're so bad, and she's like,
she did such a good.
Like, oh my lord, what is this? Like, how?
I love how they were always pitting her against the guy from
all those other shows.
Oh yeah, come and hug me.
Come
hug me, thank you, come and hug me. And, like, he's just so good. And then
he's
like,
so good.
And then it would cut back to her, like, being like, oh, you're like, no.
Don't you think that she probably had such a good time acting out those 100%, really bad acting?
That actress is a character actress, and she loves it. And that's what I really like about this role for her is you can tell she's having so much fun. Like it's just a fun role for her. She just gets to do whatever she wants.
There was like an interview with him where that was what he said when they came to him and were like, we'd like you to do this show, and she was signed, and he was like, yep, okay, I'll do that, because I know that I will have fun with her, and I know that we work well together, and I think he's been feeling a little after Life, he felt bad because he got pretty slammed about his bad job in that. So
really?
I think he went, hey, rom-com.
That bad in it though.
I'm not done with it, but he's not really. He's fine in it. It's the character that he's doing what the character calls for. So I don't.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. If you know you work well with this person and you've had some bad press over your last role, and this looks easy and it looks fun, and it's with somebody who you know makes you look good, why would
you're comfortable with someone, especially in acting, it's like so much, like not even just like comfortable because you've got good chemistry, just like comfortable and being like, I feel safe working with them. It makes life so much easier, and like doing your job so much easier because you're not like so anxious about things.
From the episodes that we had, like the first 2 episodes, and then the previews that they gave us, like they're clearly just jumping right in. They're like, going to make this, we're not drawing this out. There's obviously going to be a third act separation or something that they're going for, but they're going for the get them together. This is going to be the kiss by episode 8, if not before, kind of right?
I sort of like, and in the first episode, I had a lot of problems with the first episode because they played her so stupid and him so mean that like I was like, oh, but then he becomes so much less mean in the second episode, basically like because his boss tells him stop being so mean.
And his roommate, right? Like his friend roommate who is like, I bet she had a really rough day today, didn't she? And he's like, what are you talking about? It's like, because you're a jerk.
Yeah, because you're kind of an asshole, so
you should be nice. And he was like, and then he thought back to all their interactions and was like,
she was just
I was a jerk. Okay, maybe I'll be not a jerk tomorrow.
Yeah.
And he was not a jerk the next day.
And then when he's not a jerk, and I think sort of what I like is that the show highlighted is that when he's not a jerk and doesn't just treat her with disdain, she actually does an okay job at what she's supposed to be doing because she's not completely incompetent.
Which is kind of a good thing office-wise. Like we were saying with Romance is a Bonus Book, that we're seeing some stuff with that, like realistic office portrayal and stuff. And in this one, you're not expecting a lot of like realistic stuff. That is kind of a realistic thing. The idea that boss tells you what they want from you and like encourages you.
You do a better job.
It makes you better.
Yeah.
You become better at your job when you know what your parameters are and what your expectations are, and your boss tries to help you to be better. It's easier to be better and do a good job.
Yeah.
Which is true.
The only thing I found cringeworthy was when the older secretary is talking to her. I wanted to slap her in the face.
Yep.
So bad. I'm like, no, you cannot be this stupid. Like, this woman is trying to help you.
Yeah.
Ugh. But then she got better in the second episode. So, like...
Yeah, the first episode was kind of slow, too. It was...
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is kind of boring for a rom-com. And then by the second episode, I was like, oh, okay. I think they've found their stride. They know what's going on.
Like, more episodes.
Yeah. We have to wait. I feel like this is going to be one of those shows, though, like Secretary Kim, that'll be better as a binge than it is as a waiting every week.
So if you're listening to us right now and thinking, should I start it or should I not? Maybe you should not.
There's probably not going to be lots of reveals. You don't have to even mute words on Twitter. It's not going to be spoiler filled.
And there is no surprises coming in this. I don't imagine. If there is, we will be really, really surprised. But they're going to wind up together in the end, and there's going to be some kind of separation.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a lot of cuteness.
Yeah.
Well then. It's very much, I was saying earlier about that it's very much like a it's a Goblin fan fiction. Like,
pretty much.
We want to see the two of them set in a law office and how do we write the goblin in? Oh, we'll give him a cranky roommate that he doesn't want. Yes, perfect. Right? Like,
Perfect.
It's hitting all those things about Goblin that people really, really liked without any of the things that people didn't like. So he's got the cranky roommate. The roommate's not cranky. He's cranky and he's got the roommate. And then he's got this romance with somebody that maybe he can, maybe he can't, whatever. Like, yeah.
You know what also I kind of really like about it is it's doing this kind of subtle thing that, like, it acknowledges that it's a rom-com, and some of the situations they heighten. Like, you can really tell when that other girl that I guess acts love or whatever, when she gets into the elevator with her ex-boyfriend, like, all of a sudden it was like, we're watching a rom-com on a TV as out of that world that they're living in. So I think that's kind of fun because I think they're also trying to play with that, you know, like the Descendants of Sun little clip and like, you know, like kind of doing all these like, we're a rom-com, but we're also going to like be self-aware, but we're also going to play with little elements.
Yeah, they're sort of trying to do what like the Scream movies did with horror, like be like a self-aware rom-com.
Yeah.
I also really like, I like the two idiot lawyers at the office, like the mama's boy and the girl who's like just too timid.
Do you think they're gonna get together by the end?
Oh yeah, come on,
absolutely.
Like they're gonna do an enemies to lovers situation.
Yeah, of course.
Come on.
Especially that.
If they don't, I'll be like, you missed opportunity.
She's all timid and she can't like yell or whatever, and he's like such a mama's boy, and there's going to be a great scene where she just like loses it on his mother, and he's going to be like, what? And she's just going to like tear a strip off his mother and then be like, I don't know where that came from, and he's going to be like, take me to bed right now. Like, it's perfect.
I like the little office manager guy who's super scary looking. But really, every once in a while when he opens his mouth, sunshine and rainbows comes out of it.
Only the cutest things happen.
And he clearly got a thing for the older secretary.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So there's our other side couples. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the thing with this, as far as rom-coms go. There's lots of other side couples that they can set up that they're already setting up. There's at least 4 couples in this, ready-made, ready to go. And so, they get together and you need some drama. Well, then we'll bring in Mama's Boy and Timid Girl, or we'll bring in.
And I love the actor who's playing the Mama's Boy. Like every time I see him in something, I get so happy because he is so cute. And if you like see him in interviews and like on variety shows, he is just the cutest, dumbest little guy you've ever met in your life.
That Man in the Kitchen that I was talking about before, he was in that as like married to this woman, and they had like a Brady Bunch kind of family thing going on. Like, he was so good. It was so beautiful, and like
such a good actor, but he's so stupid in real life. Like
stupid stories into it.
He's so dumb in real life. Like you have to watch variety shows with him. Like you're like, how are you alive? Like he's basically the male version of her character. Like. Like, oh my god, like,
but he's so pretty.
So, well, that's how he's succeeded.
Is he still single, or does he?
Oh, he's still single. Yeah. No, he's obsessed with Doraemon and has like a huge, like if he was more self-aware, it would be an embarrassingly huge Doraemon collection. And then there was like another episode, I'm pretty sure it was Infinite Challenge again, but anyway, they had him on because they wanted to do like a competition between basically the celebrities that are known for being most clueless about everything, and they like had him in, and somehow within like 4 minutes of him being in this cafe meeting him, he had somehow gotten like this white chalk dust all over him, and they were like, it's the idiot sprinkles, like, he's like, I don't know what happened, like he's just so ridiculous. And he was on The Manager, and it just like followed him and his manager going to this like nerd meetup for like middle-aged men who have like collect like Gundams, and you're just like, oh
Not that we're judging that, because that's
No.
cool. Do you? Whatever you want to do you? We are not people to judge other people's hobbies, because we have a problem.
Because then the panel will be like trying to sort of like make a few jokes about this, and it's just like they go over the head, like he's just like what like he's just like
unlike her character in this, he's both pretty and a good actor.
Yes.
He is good at what he does.
Good actor, like he can play a smart character.
4 different things, and he's always a different character.
Yeah.
He's always and he's good at it. So
he was amazing
and talented.
He was in Let's Eat as I think he was a lawyer again.
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
And I actually stopped watching that. It was about half, 2/3 of the way through, because I really, really liked him, and I thought she's gonna get together with the lead, and like her lawyer boss is a way better match for her. And I just was like, and at some point it was like I was trying to watch it while I was on the treadmill at the gym, and seriously watching that show while you're trying to like healthy,
it's just all delicious looking food. No,
I'm like, wow, that pizza looks super good right now. I'm gonna eat pizza when I leave this treadmill.
But he's really good in rom-com, so I'm really excited about that side couple there.
Yeah,
even though it's not a confirmed side couple yet.
But
he saw her get embarrassed by the dude at the subway. By the way, I just have to say, next to Alhambra, this was the most shamelessly open subway plug I have ever seen, and I was like impressed.
The plug is so good. Like I'm hoping that all of those things are actual, like that they're doing actual product placement, because it's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Beautifully done. Like every time there's something that needs a product placement, she was in a commercial for it, and so she reenacts the commercial in the middle of the show, and it's perfect. Like it's just perfect.
I think the laptop CF one, I think they were trying to do Samsung.
Oh yeah.
Samsung. Yeah.
But they're probably trying to anything that they can get, like maybe they couldn't get any like electronics, but they could get that chocolate bar,
Yeah.
That drink, obviously.
Yeah, the drink. I love it. Like I always kind of like when they make product placements like super obvious, like, or they try to like make it sort of funny. I think my favorite I ever saw, it was Subway again, and it wasn't in a K-drama. It was in the show Chuck, because at one point Chuck was going to get canceled because they couldn't get funding, and Subway was like, we'll just give you all the funding you need. So Subway essentially made the like second season of Chuck. So at one point, like the store manager like is in his office, and he has like a sub, and he's unwrapping it. He's like, oh, I'm so excited to eat this 6-inch chicken teriyaki sub freshly made at Subway. And he's like, and it was just like so obvious. I was like, yes. But it's actually interesting, because at the beginning of the show, the subtitles had, there are indirect and product placement advertisement in this show. Like as right before the show started, I was like, well, of course there is. There is in every show except for Sega. Like, what is your point?
I mean, it's just our first rodeo.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Like, there's product placements in Korean dramas?
What?
Really? I was unaware.
I thought it's funny you said except for Sega, but there was that Chinese one in the last few months that had pizza.
I need to see that scene. It will break my brain whenever I see that.
On one hand, it's like, I get it, because like you need to get money to make these, but on the other hand, come on.
Like, wow, this bread with tomato and cheese is quite tasty.
Yeah, like,
I wonder who invented it. Like,
the thing is, that could have really worked.
Cardboard box.
They could have done that like in 100 Days My Prince, and it would have felt okay.
Yeah.
Like if they did it decently, we would have just laughed at it and it would have been fine.
Yeah.
Hi friends, it's Jessie here. Technology happened and the last bit of our recording got cut off. So here I am having to end this on my own while I'm editing. Thanks again for listening to us ramble on about romcoms and dramas. Romance is a bonus book and touch your heart. You can listen to us on a bunch of different places: Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube. I think that's it. We are also on all the social medias at certifiednoonas, although we really like Twitter, and that's where you're going to find us the most. You should also follow us because we've been doing hosting a lot of watch parties on Rabbit, and they're not always planned. So hint, there might be one coming up soon that you might want to partake in, and we'll post it on Twitter. So yeah, thanks again for listening, and bye!